All right. Okay, Greg Sanko here with the band Jackie. Going to see you on tonight at 5:30 first, around there, and then you're doing a second set as well, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
When did you guys initially get formed?
About 2004, wasn't it?
04? There was an initial band, Jackie, for a little bit, and then changed it up a bit. Then that's when me and Donovan came in about 2005, end of 2005, and then that is the new formation of what you have today.
That was a family.
Okay.
La Familia.
Yeah, this is La Familia now, so.
That's where the dysfunctional started.
Right.
It's all because of that guy.
Speaking of family, because I know there's some siblings in here. Your brothers are with you. How does that work with the chemistry in the band?
We leave it at home, per se.
We're all family. We're all brothers and sisters.
But when it comes to
we
music,
try to be.
we're a band and everybody's the same.
The chemistry, I think, great. We've always been
Yeah.
in a band together.
Awesome
We've
chemistry.
never really known anything outside of us three, at least being in a band together. We try to make these
I'm
guys
talking about-
feel like they're also part of the family, too.
Okay, now with you and your brothers, when did you first start playing together, and when did you first get bit by the performance bug?
Well, I was performing, doing belly tap, jazz, and hip hop when I was like 4. And then I started doing band stuff when I was about 10. He was like 7. And he had his first band in first grade. So
We did talent shows. Me and him did
That's
talent
where
shows.
it's at.
So basically, the three of them, obviously, they've been together doing music pretty much their whole lives. So,
17 years.
and then, and then we were doing it our whole lives. It just happened to all come together, So we all got 10, 15 years.
Destiny.
Definitely.
Did you know them before you guys were brought on?
I knew them only.
We had him in our crowd picture.
Right, we were in other bands, and I knew them, and I always liked them. Me and Don were in a band before this, and it was kind of coming towards the end here, and he actually introduced me to these guys in this camp here, and he was filling in for a little bit.
Don, our producer, Don DiBiase.
I actually played guitar in the band for about a year,
Yes.
and then I stepped away from it for about 4 years, and then I actually got to come back as they were hyping, and then started directing their sound. So the sound you'll start hearing in 2011 is going to be on a whole different level now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a lot more powerful, a lot more rock-oriented, a lot more guitar work, way more from her in the vocals and in the drumming. It's a lot more modernized now versus just straight up like rock and roll. It's kind of like more modern hard rock now. So that's kind of where I've come into the picture again now. And I also am like family with them too.
Yes.
Okay.
His dad played in bands with our dad.
Yeah, his dad was
Yeah.
in a band with Mr. LP, our manager. Their dad, 25, 30 years ago, they were playing in the
Yeah.
same basement.
In like
Yeah.
1970.
All right, so everything's come full circle.
Yeah, it literally is. We've just all been together forever. It just seems crazy.
My sister was dating Jackie's brother, and that's how I heard of the band. I never heard of the band. I lived 2 blocks down from them until I found out through my sister. Right.
Really?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't 6 degrees of separation. It's like 1 degree.
No,
of
yeah,
separation.
it's ridiculous.
And I wish
It
I
really
got to
is.
date his sister, but it never happened.
It was
Watch it! Before we knew it, we were all tied together.
Yeah.
In some way, we were tied together. And, it was just
Me and
destined
Mikey were locked up in Chino for like 2 years ago. We wrote a couple beats.
We did a couple years on the C block,
On the Steve Block.
West Virginia.
or we should say D or J
Change
block.
man, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Can you guys talk a little bit about when you come together for the songwriting process? What goes into that, and what's that like? Like,
Every ounce of energy, every ounce of sweat, every last thought goes into it. Everybody has an input.
Most of the time, it comes down to the fact of, say Pat will come down with the guitar riff, and he'll, hey guys, I got this thing, and I'll put a beat to it. Bass player will put a bass line. Maybe she's sitting there humming a melody line to it already, and we just kind of collaborate and throw
It's
it together.
mostly just run on motion.
Yeah, we
We'll look
we
at
have
each
fun.
other and be like, Pat, you look pissed off.
So what are you feeling? And then she's like, play
Write
it.
that.
And that's
Play
it.
that.
And that's where we go. The good news is it's like a full band collaboration.
Yeah,
You
nobody
know,
really
even though
writes
someone
it,
may
brings
bring
it to
in-
the table, we kind of just write it as we are.
There's an
together.
idea
Right.
presented.
Yeah, just because someone brings
Some
something in
feeling.
here and there, but making an effort to make sure
Well,
we all do it
mainly
together.
I do all the writing. I sing, I play the drums, I do the they all come in the studio, record their parts, but then I just come back and read.
We record. I mean, we write a lot of music together. We write like what's like 11, midnight at night until we hit a wall, and when we hit that wall, we call Donnie up.
Then we call Don. Hey Don,
It works out
we
perfect.
need some help here. But no, actually, the last little EP we did, 4 songs here, we worked 100% with Don.
Still writing.
We brought a
Still
bunch of ideas,
working on
put
it.
things together, and then he just put the magic, put the icing on the cake. So
And back in our day, when we were in Gatlin, it was how it worked. Our best songs came out. He would come to me with 2 or 3 riffs. And I'd be like, all right, give me like 10 minutes. Because I wasn't good at writing riffs. I was always good at putting whole songs together and putting things on top. And that's kind of what we just did. We used the same formula in this band. He came to me with like, a few riffs or a few of their songs of how they were going to start. And then I just kind of sat and pieced it all together with them in the whole room. And then it worked out good. I kind of air drum stuff out for them to kind of go by. You know what I'm saying? I kind of hum her melodies. And it's almost like we were getting to write again for this band versus our old band. So it was really, really cool how it all worked out. And that's why I think this demo that they're doing now is going to be the most powerful thing they've done just because of that whole connection.
Powerful thing ever.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
Ever done.
It is insane.
like anyone
By anyone ever.
The ultimate.
The whole time.
So it wasn't like a Hetfield Ulrich kind of thing here. Everybody's got equal say.
Exactly, yes. Exactly.
Well, we're not opposed neither to having somebody.
We're not at all.
Somebody come
Outside
down like
opinions.
either outside opinion, or if one of the musicians has a full song idea and wants it. We're not opposed to having them say, "You're playing this part, you try this part, you try this part." We'll try it. If it don't work, we'll work on something else or put your own flair on it. But most of the time, we're not opposed to nothing. Whatever's going to work is going to work, whether we like it or not. So we just go with it. It's rock and roll. You roll with it.
Yep.
Now, with that being said, when you come together to put an album out there, obviously you can't rush something that you're feeling, but do you have a deadline when you're putting an album together?
Sometimes
course.
hurts you.
You do have a deadline.
How do you work through that?
You got to do what you got to do. You got to.
You gotta say enough is
The
enough.
best is the
Yeah.
best
Like, how much
you can
greater can we
the
make
time
this
you got.
music?
It always comes to like the night before doing that
Always.
last minute report.
It's a sick addiction.
The
Yeah.
problem is there's so many, and then
Yeah.
there's so many inputs and everything. And sometimes you just need to sometimes step back and say, "All right, someone else just do it."
The best thing that
just
could
to
happen
get it
to
out
us,
there.
the studio could blow up.
That's in it.
That wasn't good for me, though.
But yeah, but as far as
Well, he does
deadlines,
have insurance.
unfortunately, we do have deadlines. It's hard to get to them sometimes, but we always seem to manage. So
Yeah,
we always make sure the first half we do the true stuff. The second half, when it gets all crazy,
Yeah, and if you nitpick
you
at
know.
it too much, it becomes mechanical and
It
not
ruins it.
really real.
Again,
That's the
it comes
feeling.
down to it's rock and roll, and you just got to roll with it. You got to do whatever happens. If it don't come to the deadline and we pass it up a little bit, then
There is a little bit of a different edge on the music, the way they play it. You get it Jackie style.
Okay.
Harley's on the
this
horizon.
is how we do it, Jackie style.
All right. Now, I noticed on your website, it's fair to say Evanescence has been an influence on your work.
I think more so Paramore and Flyleaf and Gwen Stefani, Hailstorm.
No doubt, yeah.
We like that. We like the dark
Definitely an
heaviness of
Evanescence edge to it.
Yeah.
Just to add the low, the tuned down guitars a little bit, just the heavier rock and stuff. But we also like with Hailstorm, all those other ones, the upbeatness, the in-your-face rock,
Yeah.
So yeah, we have we got a multitude of influences between all of us. So
We really didn't have a path we were trying to take. It just kind of went that way on its own. Assuming because she's female.
We finally really truly feel we've come to where we're supposed to be with music as a group.
Here, here.
Yeah. Right? Just recently, within the last year, it
Within,
felt
probably,
real.
I would say within the last 8 months, we really
The last 2
gelled
weeks
as a cohesive team that we know what direction. We were a cohesive team, but we didn't know what path to take. There was 3 paths. We finally picked our path, and we're going. We're doing it. We know what direction we want to go, especially with him jumping in the mix of everything with us, and it's kind of leading us into the direction we want to go.
and it really helped. Last summer, we played a ton of festivals with a lot of big nationals, and that really we upped our game. We're like, we got to bring this.
Live.
And not all brand new fan base, people that
Up
have
the
never
fan
seen
base.
us. So on top of that, we just said, all right, 2010 was a great year, but this year has to blow it out of the water.
Now, there's a lot of ups and downs. Just when you think you're there, you go back down. Keep you humble.
why you think you want to be in the music business, you keep thinking it. Be a doctor.
Or a lawyer.
I mean, and the time, our truck breaking down.
I would know.
I mean, just 3 in the morning, just sitting there going,
Hey, you guys are going on the USO tour.
here we go again.
No, you're not.
January comes back.
Yeah,
around.
I only
Hey, you
get
guys
booked
are
twice on
accepted
the
to go
USO
back on the
tour.
USO
right?
tour.
The antics are pretty fun.
January comes back around.
We have fun.
When is it going to happen?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What is life like on the road?
We make it fun.
Oh my God.
It is boring. So we come up with
We can't
It's
exactly
awesome.
say that because you're going to have to buy the DVD when it comes out.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of fun
Eventually.
stuff.
All right.
For
Yeah, we
example,
got
we'll take the ramp out of the back of the truck and we turn it
Liddon?
into like a
We named it Liddon.
lidding. We take a plastic like lunch tray. We get a big long rope and like 5 guys on either side of the ramp and holding the rope. Somebody
Slingshot.
sits on the lid and you.
It's got to be raining out, though.
And a wet surface
You
like
just launch
blacktop,
them.
that thing goes.
Or we get buckets and wet down the surface.
It's crazy. the
We
things
put
they do.
people in like metal corrugated tubes and roll them down railroad tracks.
We're getting big band fights. West Virginia.
While 2 of us watch from the hotel room going,
We really know who the brothers are for that.
All declared safe under OSHA
No, it
regulations.
was all the
right?
Marshall guys.
Yeah.
From school Marshall. They were big haystacks, boy.
The biggest thing about the road, from my experience, I've been on the road with several different bands as a hired gun, and I think the biggest thing that is all uniform from me even being on the road with them, myself personally, and to other bands that I've seen, especially with these guys, is there's an invincibility factor that comes in.
Yes.
The minute you get in that van, truck, or bus and you hit it, there's nothing else that matters. So it's just, no matter how big or small you are, there's just something that just comes over you, like there's this glazing that
You
the
ignite.
bomb can hit
You
you
ignite.
and nothing's going to
Bulletproof.
stop you.
You're bulletproof.
And that's kind of what happens, I think, when you go on the road a lot. And that's what and I've experienced with these guys too. It's pretty crazy. There's times that I don't think I was going to make it home when I was on the road with these guys. Actually, a few times
you actually left them somewhere. Does anyone know where Don is?
They left me.
He's like, thank God.
Yeah, and if I didn't call, they would, and then
It's like funny guys. We're like, what are you
So
talking
I
about?
at a gas
Funny?
station. I had to sit there for like 3 hours because I had to turn all the way around back.
No way.
Yeah, it was a while.
It was like 3
It was a while. He's like, funny guy, because he's walking around the corner. Funny guys. Well, yeah, we're at the venue.
Those are little bit of antics that happen on the road, though. But
And those are the things you can pretty much tell you on
that's
tape.
the
But
bulletproof thing too, man. You feel invincible. That and being on stage. When you get on stage,
You can do anything.
it's a whole different ball.
You
You
lose
be
yourself.
in the worst mood possible. Get on that stage and it's like it got sucked out of you. You're happy. You're having a good time. You're looking at your band members. Half my family's on stage with me. My other half of my family's on stage with me, and it's there's nothing that can top it. You look out, there's people in the crowd that are looking at you to see your music, to hear your music, and to watch you perform while they're in a crowd. You're not
I mean,
in the
we
crowd.
could
You're
adopt
the
you guys into
performer.
the
It's
family. It's
something totally different.
But yeah, man.
It's untouchable.